My name is Julie Tilbury. I am the co-vice chair of the Games Organizing Committee for the 2020 Special Olympic Winter Games. I got involved back in 2010 when I was very blessed to be asked to be the manager for the Special Olympic Provincial Winter Games that were coming to Thunder Bay in 2011. Through that opportunity, I had the ability to really jump in, feet first, learn all about Special Olympics, how amazing the people are that are involved in Special Olympics, whether it be the athletes, the volunteers, the parents, anyone who surrounds themselves with Special Olympics. That's sort of how I got introduced, and I've been, they call it the sticky charity. Once you get in, you're stuck and you stay with it. So I'm still here and enjoying every moment of it.
So my name is Doug Henry. I'm the Games Manager of the Special Olympics Canada Winter Games Thunder Bay 2020. If you've never been to a Special Olympic event or a Games, you're in for a treat. The competition, the energy, the joy that takes place at these competitions is really something to see, and I just wanted to be a part of that again.
You know, the Special Olympics are a sporting organization that helps to allow people with intellectual disabilities the ability to be active and participate in sport, and basically it is an overall yearly social gathering for a lot of these individuals in our community.
Well, Special Olympics began in the United States. Eunice Kennedy Shriver, JFK's sister, was a real champion of intellectual people with intellectual disabilities. And so she sort of started the movement in the mid-60s. And but it was a Canadian, Dr. Frank Hayden, who was a sports scientist at the University of Toronto, that did some research and showed that people with intellectual disabilities could benefit greatly by physical training, participation in sport, had the necessary skills to do that. So he and Mrs. Shriver started the first international games in Chicago in 1968, and now it's a global movement.
So the Special Olympic Canada Winter Games that are going to be held here in Thunder Bay is a sporting opportunity which will have 8 different sporting competitions. They'll be housed in 8 different venues, and it's going to allow 900 plus athletes to compete at their full potential, trying to qualify for the World Special Olympic Games in Sweden in 2020.
The event starts off with a large opening ceremonies that'll take place at the Fort William Gardens. That'll feature the 1,200 athletes and coaches that will be here for the Games. There'll likely be about 1,000 family and friends that travel from across the country to come watch the event, as well as special guests and VIPs, and of course the public will be involved, invited to that event as well. Competition starts the next day and goes through until Friday in some sports and Saturday in others. And then the event culminates with the Athletes' Dance, which takes place on Saturday night, and that's the Athletes' Celebration, kind of serves as our closing ceremonies as well. And it'll be a whirlwind of activity. Competition will be taking place throughout the days from Wednesday to Saturday, and again, everybody's invited to come out and watch.
All of these athletes have had to qualify in their own province. So usually with Special Olympics, it's a 4-year cycle, as is the regular Olympics, in that they start competing at a local area level, and then they will do a regionals, go to provincials, and once they qualify for a national games and they are selected, they come and they compete, and their hope is to try to make it to the world. So there's going to be some great competition, and I think it's going to be a really, really amazingly unique opportunity for our community to see.
It's much more than a sporting event. You know, a lot of these folks have seen each other over several years, and it is a reunion of sorts, I think, when they come to the event. It's not just the competition as well. There's activities that we're planning in the evening where folks can get together and spend some time together. And again, as I said, the events like the opening ceremonies and the Athletes' Dance really help celebrate that reunion.
I think the athletes benefit in many ways from participating in Special Olympics. I think number one, it keeps them very active. If you talk to anyone who's involved in Special Olympics, they just don't participate in one sport. Most of them participate in many sports. So they are very active year round. I think the competitive experience gives them something where they learn goal setting, they learn how to be part of a team, they learn the the advantages of winning and having to handle a loss. So I think it's a lot of life lessons that they learn. They also get to have a great social opportunity. If you know anyone who's involved in Special Olympics, not only are their sports very important to them, but the social outings and especially the dance are the highlights of their year for sure.
It's the camaraderie, it's the fun, it's seeing friends and family perhaps that they haven't seen for a while, and everybody coming to these games experiences that, and it's a real positive experience for all.
I think one story that I tell a lot when I'm talking to people about why I'm still involved with Special Olympics is back in 2011 when I had the opportunity to be the manager for the games. I had time to speak to one of the mothers of a local athlete here after the games had come and gone from Thunder Bay. And she said to me that, she goes, before the games were in Thunder Bay, she said, we'd go in public and no one really talked to us. No one really addressed our daughter. But after the games were in Thunder Bay and after she's wearing her Special Olympics shirt, she goes, we have people always coming up to us now and asking, hey, what do you compete in? What sports are you doing? How are you doing? Just engaging with her. And she says, after the games came and left Thunder Bay, our daughter now has a place in the community, whereas before we felt we were invisible. So I think games are a really special way for a community to be totally immersed in the spirit of Special Olympics, totally try to understand what the underlying principles are of acceptance and inclusion. And I think it just allows people to be in an opportunity where they don't normally have. And I can tell you last time our volunteers all left with smiles on their faces, and they all really just wanted more opportunities. And I think that that's why our volunteer recruitment this time took off.
It's been nothing short of phenomenal. From the corporate community supporting these events has been absolutely fantastic. Businesses have been so generous. This event seems to have a real soft spot in people's hearts, and they've been very, very generous in supporting this event. Volunteers, the same way. We opened the volunteers portal for registration, and in less than 2 weeks we had over 500 volunteers show up or sign up, and we're working through that process to make sure that we don't oversubscribe the volunteers, but the support that Thunder Bay has shown, as Thunder Bay often does anyway, but they've really come to the forefront for this event.
My favorite thing about being involved is just the energy that the athletes give you every single time you get an opportunity to be around them. We know that through this process, we've actually been able to get to know some of the athletes more and more every single time we have an event or a media event or a fundraiser. They are there, and they are really rising to the occasion, and it's really special with these games. For a games organizing committee, we wanted our athletes, ambassadors, to be the forefront and be part of bringing these games to Thunder Bay, and they are outshining us every time we do something in the community. So that is special, and I think that that is going to go a long way to support our local Special Olympics community, but also these athletes, because they're learning skills, right? And I think it's going to just be awesome for them to take as a takeaway after the games are gone.
There has been, in the short time that I've been the games manager, there has been the opportunity to, I'll say, rub shoulders with our local Special Olympic athletes, and that's been a lot of fun. That's been there's a lot of energy. It's been fun meeting them, and I've really enjoyed that part of it. But I have to say the organizing committee and the people that are involved in volunteering for this event are spectacular. And the amount of time and effort and energy that people are putting into this event is, it's really been something to be a part of, and I've really enjoyed that part of it. It's one of the larger events that Thunder Bay has hosted in many years. It's one of the larger multi-sport events that we have hosted. As I said, 1,200 athletes and coaches, many more friends and family. It's a large economic impact for our community, but it's a great celebration of sport as well. So we really hope that people come out and enjoy the games.
I think when we first started this journey to bring these games to Thunder Bay, we knew our community had great facilities. We knew our community had great support from the corporate world. We have volunteers like no others here in Thunder Bay, and we knew this. Going through this process, it has been reinforced time and time and time again. Our hope is that these games will come to Thunder Bay. Our hope is that these games will bring our community together. I think it's going to make us better as a community, and I just really encourage everyone to just do what you can to support the games, but more importantly, come out and experience the games. You will feel the pure heart and the heartbeat of these athletes and what they're going to bring to our community, and I think it's going to be something you're going to remember for a long time.